Wow! I saw Parasite last night, and I have to be honest with y'all, it's one of the most surprising movies I've ever seen in my life. And I am very excited to review this for y'all. And before doing that, I have to say these words. All praise Bong Joon Ho. Parasite is a 2019 Korean thriller written and directed by Bong Joon Ho, and it stars an ensemble cast of Korean stars. So, this movie tells a tale about a Korean family that is living in the low class. They're unemployed and have a lot of poverty until they decide to scam this rich family. And in order to do so, they decide to disguise themselves as an art therapist, an English teacher, a housekeeper, and a driver. And once they scam this family, they just want to make profit out of them. They really want to move into high society. And they have to be very careful because if the rich family found out that they were related, not to spoil anything, then all plans would go south. And therefore, I have to stop the plot synopsis here right now while reviewing this movie. My goodness, it makes me extremely happy to say Parasite is 100% perfection. It is easy for me to give a 10 out of 10 to this movie, and of course I already gave my score, but it's 10 out of 10 for probably the most exact reason why. I mean, the writing never feels wasted. Every single scene has a purpose. Every line of dialogue feels realistic. The acting is just amazing. You can tell that each and every actor and actress does their job on screen. And one of the best things that I really love about Parasite is just the way how it's directed by Bong Joon Ho. This is one of the most beautifully directed movies I have ever seen in my entire life. I believe that Bong Joon Ho is up there with Akira Kurosawa and all the other fascinating Asian directors that we had in the past. And I believe that with how he made Parasite, Bong Joon Ho is defining Asian cinema again, where he is revolutionizing it, he is making his own craft, and once he made this movie, I never knew that this would get so much attention and high praise for it. The characters in this movie are incredibly smart. What I really appreciate about Parasite is that you don't really side with any character. There's no villain in the movie, there's no antagonist or protagonist. You do feel very sorry for the poor family in the movie, but it also gives a lot of praise and respect to the rich family. They don't just view them as power-hungry monsters that just want money and profit off the poor, but what it does is that it's basically a satire of class and conflict that we have in our society. And based on movies like this, I never thought that Parasite would kind of remind me of movies like Do the Right Thing by Spike Lee, where it has a social satire and commentary about money and people that we have nowadays and who's profiting off of us or who's profiting out of them. Parasite is also a very poetic movie. There is a ton of symbolism that is not just thrown at you, it is there for a reason. Everything from the way how the mise-en-scène staging was, the cinematography of shots, the edits, and about how rapid the editing is, and also for the fact that they use a lot of symbols to portray and reflect things in society that we really don't think of. An example of the movie, not to get into spoilers, is Rain, about how, you know, the rich family think that rain is beautiful, but once you get to the poor family, rain is very destructive within their own household. There's a ton of things that go down in between that really tortures everyone else in the neighborhood. And just stuff like that just makes me appreciate films like Parasite when they have a completely reasonable reason to show those type of poetic scenes. Also really got me about Parasite is how this movie is basically a dark comedy. It's not just marketed as a thriller or a horror film. It is also a movie that has jokes every once in a while that makes you laugh. And I found myself giggling in a few scenes and I'm like, this is some genius comedy. I really love the way how Bong Joon Ho inserted humor in such a dark situation. And seeing that in the film just really bought it for me. I enjoyed it, how it was trying to make us laugh about, you know, social satire and class conflict and all that type of stuff. But I also appreciate how this movie is a tragedy at the same time. In fact, when the movie ended, it kind of made me feel as if I was reading a Shakespearean tragedy like Hamlet or Romeo and Juliet. And with all the things that I mentioned about mise-en-scène and poetry, especially with the humor that comes into it, that's what makes Parasite so watchable and powerful. In general, Parasite is such a fantastic movie. This is a movie that I would love to watch again. People, it's never too late to watch this movie. You have the chance to watch it and go support this movie because it deserves everyone's attention, and what people and critics are saying about Parasite is 100% correct. And I could see some people saying, like, what did I just watch? What was the whole point of it? I could definitely see that from some audience members, but as a film and how it defines filmmaking, this is a movie that will be used for film schools in the next 5 to 6 years. It's that amazing, and I'll say it again, Parasite absolutely deserves a 10 out of 10! We've got some tough competition for Best Picture this year. Parasite, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Joker, Little Women, and all the others. I haven't seen every movie that's nominated, but I'm just doing my best to explore the movies that I watched for the 2019 movies for the 2020 Oscars. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please go see these movies that I've mentioned. They are fantastic, and hope everyone has a cool and awesome Saturday.